Being that I'm sick today, I don't have a lot to say, and there's really not a lot of good wrestling news right now. So just a couple of little things to catch up on with you guys. A lot of people think, what's the deal with Sami Zayn? Why is he there? What's the point in Sami Zayn, the White Rabbit, Bray Wyatt? In a minute, I'm going to tell you who I think the White Rabbit is, or who this what this big reveal is. I think we all pretty much have a good idea of what's going on here, but I'll tell you what I think. But before that, Sami Zayn, people are like, what's the point in Sami Zayn? I think the point in Sami Zayn is that at some point they're going to turn on Sami Zayn or whatever, and Sami is going to be somebody who can wrestle Roman potentially as a backup, whether that's during some side event, whether that's, just a weekly feud to have to keep Roman Reigns, in the world title visible. Maybe I'm assuming that eventually that's what's going to happen is, if you needed somebody as a backup, Sami Zayn could be somebody who, is sympathetic as he becomes a face maybe with the crowd. Like, Roman, I was your guy and you turned on me and you beat me up. And then people maybe will rally behind Sami versus Roman, and if there's little interest, it'll be a one-off thing where Roman beats him, and that's really been about it. Sami moves on to something else, or if the crowd really starts going crazy for him, maybe he gets a couple of chances. I don't know. And I suppose that's in there just as a backup or a side thing, but right now, you could argue that they've already done that with the Paul brothers, or Logan Paul. So Logan Paul is facing Roman at the Saudi Arabia thing, and then you've got, but then you still got Royal Rumble, and you've got, the WrestleMania is going to be coming up, and before that. So, if you think that Roman is going to be facing somebody big at WrestleMania, like either Cody or The Rock or somebody, certainly not then, but, he's going to need people that he can wrestle or maybe go against before that won't turn into a big storyline and will maybe make sense and not just be some random one-off kind of like Logan Paul, but it's in Saudi Arabia, so that makes sense. So that's what it seems to me is setting up there. I will be surprised if Sami Zayn is with Roman and the Bloodline at WrestleMania. I will be surprised that they hadn't turned him before that for some reason. Now, maybe not. Maybe they won't. If they don't need him, they won't do that. But I think he's just there as that. That story is always there, that they're going to turn on him or he's going to overstep his boundaries or whatever. They've already teased it several times. That is just there and ready to happen in case it needs to happen. So going into the final thing here, and I hope you guys leave comments down below, leave a like, do all that stuff. If you guys can, support the channel. I'm very sick right now. I can't really talk much longer. My throat is seizing up on me. I am sore throughout my whole body. I don't know what's wrong with me. Can barely fucking breathe enough to talk. Leave a super thanks down below. I will pin it to the top of this video. But yes, obviously I believe the White Rabbit situation is Bray Wyatt. I think it is possible that they sort of tease other people first, and they're still not the leader. I think this is one of those things where WWE has been shown to like to tell you who it is without telling you who it is. Well, so that everybody's on the same page when they arrive, but still yet surprised, in a way, right? Cody Rhodes, we pretty much all knew it was Cody, but we weren't 100% sure, just like we're pretty sure it's Bray Wyatt, but, not 100%, but... So just doing that is the best, because then you're all on the same page when they arrive, and it's amazing, and it's finally fun to see it, and you built up anticipation. And certainly if it wasn't Bray Wyatt, I think they would pull the plug on it, because people will just be not happy. Unless it's a heel debuting, and then they can really be a piece of crap. And then you can debut Bray Wyatt afterwards as somebody else. I don't know. But yeah, it's Bray Wyatt. It's got to be Bray Wyatt. I just don't believe it could be anything else but Bray Wyatt. I've already said this multiple times on other shows and throughout the weeks, but I just still get the question of, who do you think it is, Joe? And I'm like, well, did you not watch my show the last couple of weeks? I've told you. But I guess some people don't watch everything or don't see everything. I don't know. So I'm just stating it right now in this video that I 100% believe that's the case. It looks like Dan Lambert's run in AEW has come to an end. Dan Lambert recently, or a little while back, told Tony Khan, like, all right, well, I guess I'm done. This was really fun, and I'm done. And that's it. Dan Lambert is apparently done with AEW. Looks like. I thought it was pretty good. There were times where it was like too much or it was a little ridiculous, but most of the time, like, he was pretty good, man. He really was one of the best heel managers in a while. Sometimes, but there was just something. It just was never quite 100% right. But it's like, but yet he was really good. I think if he had been doing this for 15 years before today, he would have been so better, like so much better. He would have been, somebody that you could have said, is around the level of a Cornette and Bobby Heenan or somebody like that. But because he's very, very new to this, he had the mic, he had the presence to deliver confident promos. But some of the stuff he said, the substance wasn't very good. But he delivered it very confidently and douchily, which is great. But if Dan Lambert had been doing this for 20 years and then come into AEW, he would have been better. I think Dan Lambert was a thumbs up 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10 maybe. Heel manager speaker, and that's better than most people nowadays. But when you're talking about Jim Cornette, you're talking about a guy who's on like about a 10 level, maybe a 9.5 or a 10 if you don't want to give someone a 10. Jim Cornette, like a 9, 9.5. Bobby the Brain Heenan, same thing. I think Jim Cornette might have been the better manager, like as far as speaking. He might have had a little step on Bobby Heenan, but I think Bobby Heenan was the better color commentator. So I enjoyed Bobby Heenan better on commentary than Jim Cornette. But Jim Cornette was a damn good promo cutter when it came to being a manager. So things like that. And so Dan Lambert's in there somewhere around a 6 or a 7 maybe, 6.5 out of 10, which is good. I mean, most other people aren't even, they're below that. So Dan Lambert did a great job. Could have done even better, but he's gone. So there you go. There's the news on Dan Lambert for all the people wondering, all the Dan Lambert fans out there wondering. And with that being said, if there's news you want me to speak about, I will try to make another video about it, but you got to drop it down below in the comments section below. And if you guys really like what I do and you want to support what I do here, please leave a super thanks down below, and I will pin it to the top of this channel if it's the largest one. But I'm looking for super thanks. This little heart thing. You Apple users might not have it. I don't know. You guys have to look down below for it. It's right near the likes and everything, super thanks. And leave a question, comment, rant, whatever you want to do. I want to read them down below, and then I might make another video based on everything you guys talk about down below. I'm Joe Cronin. Please follow me on Patreon. Even if you don't become a patron, follow the Patreon. You get alerts. All kinds of other stuff. Patreon.com/Joe Cronin Show. Instagram.com/Joe Cronin Show. TikTok @Joe Cronin Show. And here are some other videos now that are popping up that you may have missed here on my YouTube.